Look, what's going on YouTube? CliffK74 back at the grind again, and this video will pretty much be like on multiple subjects. But the first part is I'll just address like one of the problems that the Clippers are having that pretty much not too many people are talking about. And then after this will be basically some questions I have for all of y'all, in my opinion, because but pretty much both of the topics are really related, and it was related to my post game of loss against the Memphis Grizzlies. So pretty much what I want to dive in is like a lot of people are pretty much throwing all the crap to Marcus Morris Sr., which is rightfully so because he stunk up lately. But sorry about that. But another person I just really want to talk about who's also, like kind of the problem of the Clippers is Luke Kennard. Because look, I'm not trying to hate on no players. I'm not trying to criticize on no players. But as a Clippers fan, I just gotta tell what it is. And then Luke Kennard, I'm telling y'all, like honestly, Jay Scrub is personally, I think Jay Scrub is better than Luke Kennard. Like Luke Kennard, like look, do not get fooled by his 45% 3-point shooting, because Luke Kennard will have days when he's like what, like let's just say 4 for 5. The next day he's like like 2 for 8. Like he shoots like perfect one day, next day he's hell off, and when he's off, he is really useless because on the defensive side, like it's tough as how y'all had creme brulee and like the top of the layer is like kind of crispy, but it's easy to poke through. That's how tough is Luke Kennard's defense is on the defensive side of the end. Like again, basically this also relates to last video because again, I complained about how Ty Lue is not playing Jay Scrub and Brandon Boston Jr. But I just decided that it needs to be addressed, so I just decided to make a separate video just simply addressing that. So going back about Luke Kennard is he is a great shooter, but when he's off, he is horrible, and has a consistency problem as well too. Like look at the playoffs. Luke Kennard didn't really. He was pretty much a no-show. Like he may have had some games that he made shots, but other than that, he didn't really do too much in my opinion. Like in my opinion, he's kind of overrated for the Clippers. I know a lot of Clippers fans they defend Luke Kennard a lot, like give him time and stuff, when like but when you're having a guy like Jay Scrub who has a more NBA ready body, who could do more things than Luke Kennard, that's when I would get really disappointed because Jay Scrub is not getting any minutes. Meanwhile, Luke Kennard, against last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, in the second half of the quarter, he pretty much like was disappearing. So that's when I was like, why can't you put Jay Scrub? Like, if y'all know what I'm saying. And then more things I just want to address is like basically again, like I said in my other comments or in a previous video, trim down Morris minutes, trim down Kennard's minutes, give some minutes to Brandon Boston Jr., and give some minutes to Jay Scrub. Like, it's that simple. Like I don't like that's just pretty much like what I gotta say about Luke Kennard. Because like, look, Luke is good on offense. He has his spurts. Like in the first half, he would be good, and then the same game there'll be moments that when he's just like don't get me that dude is just he's just like oh my gosh he's just horrible like I saw that so much during like last season like Luke Kennard will have periods of times when he's a bucket. Then when you head on to a crunch time, Luke Kennard would pretty much like pretty much will not make his shots that we pretty much paid him for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my problem with Luke Kennard because, like, if he played defense, I would not be really making this video. But again, there are players that, who are not getting played that is personally, I think is better than Luke Kennard. And, like, look, I just got to tell what it is. And I just hope tomorrow things would go on a different change. So I think for next, like the next slide is, I'm gonna just ask for some questions because look, Brandon, my big question is, what does the Clippers have to lose when you play Brandon Boston Jr. and Jay Scrubb? Nothing. Pretty much nothing. Like, can y'all answer what we got to lose? Nothing. I'll tell you what we can gain. We can gain scoring. We can gain shot creation. We can gain development. We can, turn them into stars because they've shown a lot of flashes of being stars. Like, come on now. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, it's not rocket science. And for some of y'all people who are, because now we're struggling, there will be some people who will be lobbying for to make a trade, and they're gonna ask me, "Oh, Clip, do you still feel the same thing that you should keep not trade the young players for a third star?" Heck yeah, I still stand by my take that we should not trade a young rising talent for a third star, except for Amir Coffey, because Amir Coffey, he's doo doo. He's just, oh my gosh, Amir Coffey. Don't get me started on Amir Coffey. He's just horrible. He's just horrible. He can maybe play defense, but ever since Amir Coffey cut his dreads, he's been awful. Like, even in the G League, he struggled. He was awful. He's like a younger Marcus Morris. He was awful. Like, next game, when we play the Portland Trailblazers, I do not want to see Amir Coffey play over Jay Scrubb and Brandon Boston Jr. I do not want to see Luke Kennard and Morris playing too much minutes. I need to see a trim down. I need to see Scrubb on the floor. I need to see Brandon Boston Jr. on the floor. Like, I'm not saying you have to straight up, like, play Jay Scrubb over Luke Kennard or play Brandon Boston Jr. over Marcus Morris Sr., but although it would be really nice if, Ty Lue just sat out Luke Kennard and put Jay Scrubb for the whole game as our backup shooting guard because next game is going to be Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and they are monsters on the offensive side. And Scrubb, he could definitely help on defense. I'm not, like, Scrubb's not a lockdown defender, but he would definitely not be getting torched like how Luke Kennard gets torched. And he can at least create shots. Like, even if Scrubb is streaky, like, at least he'll score some points. Because again, like I said about Luke Kennard will be really good at one game. Next game, he will shoot like one for something, or he'll just disappear for the whole entire half. If you know what I'm saying. So another question is, like, if you watch Brandon Boston Jr. play during the preseason, why on earth do you think he doesn't deserve any minutes? Like, you must be mentally deranged if you believe that BJ Boston don't deserve any, like, significant minutes. Like, I'm talking about 15 minutes. He needs to get at least 15. What you saw during the preseason, like, look, y'all gonna nitpick and you won't say, oh, it's just a preseason. Oh, he's a rookie. Well, you think Luke Kennard's any better? Do you think Luke Kennard's any better? Luke Kennard, like, look, y'all gonna say, oh, Boston is just skinny. Oh, he needs to get his weight up. Like, Luke Kennard is any better? Hell no. Luke Kennard, he cannot defend a turtle. Like, even if Brandon Boston would get bullied, at least he would create a lot more shots. He would definitely create a lot of buckets. And another question is, like, if if any of y'all who are real Clippers fans who watched, the last 2 or 3 games of the season last year when Jay Scrub actually got his serious minutes, like like why why wouldn't you play Jay Scrub if you saw what he did against the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunders? Because I can definitely assure you Jay Scrub did better than Luke Kennard for sure. Because while Kennard scored more points, Scrub did more on other things. Jay Scrub actually got a good amount of rebounds. If y'all actually was watching the game, he got 6 rebounds against the Houston Rockets. He got 7 rebounds against the OKC Thunders. While Luke Kennard, all he did was just score, and he barely did anything on the on the other stuff. Like all Luke Kennard can do is shoot. That's it. Maybe play make. Maybe he can dribble just a little bit better than Scrub. But Scrub can do more things than Luke Kennard. He can drive, he can slash. Like, I know I say this a million times already, but I just had to remind y'all, like, what Scrub can do compared to Luke Kennard. He is more athletic, he can make tougher shots. Like, come on. Like, again, like, I'm being completely 100. Like, again, I'm going to straight up say this again. If you watch the Jay Scrub go against the Houston Rockets and Oklahoma City Thunders, and you don't believe Jay Scrub deserves any minutes, you're just playing out. You're just playing out stupid. You're just plain idiotic. If you don't believe B.J. Boston deserves to get in the rotation after seeing in what he did in the preseason, you're just straight up mentally deranged. You're just straight up mentally deranged, or you just took some type of good amount of pills with good amount of cocaine, or you just straight up an old head who just wants to stick, so-called quote unquote, stick to the fundamentals. Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I really, really hope Tyronn Lue is just like desperately trying to jack up Marcus Morris, Amir Coffey, Zubac, and Luke Kennard's value, if if Tyronn Lue is doing that, I'll feel a little bit better. But Ty Lue, you gotta cut that out. We're trying to win now, and we're trying to maximize our potential. So put Scrub and put BJ Boston on the field. Like, what's the criticism? What's the criticism you're gonna get? Nothing. At least you tried. And if Tyler actually thinks like we're gonna go somewhere if you just play Kennard and Morris, and yeah, pretty much Kennard and Morris over and not giving any minutes to Boston and Scrub, like Tyler, you need to, like, I know Tyler tends to experiment, but like I said, he's a good coach, but he's a turtle, and I guess Ty can adjust during crunch time, but again, or Ty just deliberately trying to make us go down 0-2 so that way we can have a really good season, because that's the Clippers' good luck superstition. Down 0-2, and we have a good comeback. But geez, like, again, I mean, I'm going to just repeat the question again. What does the Clippers have to lose when you trim down Marcus Morris and Luke Kennard's minute in favor of Jay Scrub and Brandon Boston Jr.? I am desperately waiting for the answer. Like, nothing. Just straight up nothing. Like, it's high reward, no risk. High reward, low risk. Like, I do not want to see Amir Coffey playing over BJ Boston and Jay Scrub, because Amir Coffey, he's dookie. Send him to the G League, or put him on a trading block. Like, low key, Amir Coffey should have got waived, and he should have been given to Harry Giles, because Harry Giles, that dude is agile. That dude can grab rebounds. Like, sure, he was not like the perfect guy, but he's better. He did more than Amir Coffey, in my opinion. Like, all right, enough me ranting. So that should just end the video. So again, I want to hear everybody's opinion on this video. So pretty much, good night, Clipper Nation, and we better beat the Blazers because and Ty Lue better do something. Like, what does Ty Lue have to lose if he does, the thing that I suggest? Like, again, nothing, nothing, nothing. Simple.